What's up, guys? Dave Van Auken, Felicia Spencer to my left. Fee, I missed you.
It feels like it's been months. It's literally been 3 weeks. Not even.
The UFC has one off week. There's a major hurricane that takes over Florida, and it's been a couple weeks, but we are back. UFC Vegas 62. To me, definitely an underrated show. A lot of people are like skipping it already because the pay-per-view next week is a all-time pay-per-view. But there's still a lot of intriguing fights on this card. And then to us Floridians and Orlandians, I think I said that right. Just a lot of news in UFC Orlando, December 3rd. The main event with Holland and Thompson broke. Tai Tuivasa in the co-main. Phil Rowe and Nico Price is on the card. So just a lot of news has broke over the last 72 hours. So this UFC show has been like overlooked. And I'm like, all right, guys, come on. We got to talk about it. We got to make some picks sooner or later. So UFC Vegas 62 this weekend. Excited. Does the main event jump at you right away, or is there another fight in the card that you're really intrigued about?
There are a few on the card, but I can't remember there being 2 shows in a row that have female fight headliners that are not, title fights.
Right.
Not even probably a title. This might be a sort of a title contender fight, but like not obviously, So it's like just 2 fight nights in a row that are just fights from females. It's kind of weird and cool. So yeah. But yeah, I got a few fights that I'm interested in, just like my go-to people that I like keeping an eye out for, that kind of thing. And then obviously news broke in Orlando of one of Orlando's own, getting on the card. So, I mean, I can just say it, right? I mean, Lucas Alexander.
Yeah, Lucas. Yeah, he's on the card already. We posted about it. Lucas Alexander on 6 days' notice versus Brito, which is a great fight. But it's so cool that Lucas gets his shot. Well deserved. To me, one of the best fighters right outside of the UFC for the last year and a half. And now he's in. It's great. Awesome news.
Yeah, it's super cool. And super cool that he's the underdog because obviously that's my pick.
All right. Wait, before you go there, and we will, it's kind of the show is based around that upset pick, the phenomenal pick. But before you go there, you said something right off the top, and I'm really happy you said it because I do want to take it to that area, right? I am so excited that the UFC feels strong enough and feels that they don't have to sugarcoat a championship match or bring in a old great veteran like a Misha Tate or someone like that. They can go with these younger fighters. Dern and Nam, I thought that was a great fight. I think Nam is one of the great female fighters, and she is one fight away, and I thought it was a big moment for her to be on the fight poster and beat, let's just be honest, Mackenzie Dern, a sweetheart. Everyone thinks her looks, all that stuff, and Nam was the better fighter and won that fight. I think the same week as this one, Grasso to me is so freaking good. I think she's just so underrated and just overlooked. Not a lot of people know about her. The casuals do not know her. And now she's in the main event. She's the favorite. I think she's going to win that fight. Spoiler alert, there's my pick. But I think that's good for her and it's good for the UFC to say, hey, guys, we don't need to like fake main event fights, or we don't need to sugarcoat some of these female fights. These are the deserving fighters, and these are the people we're trying to push. And hopefully, I think we have 2 new UFC female stars in Nam and Grasso in the last 10 days. So I like it. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for all of them that are in that spot. Like, to be able to be on the poster, like you said, just to have your face shown and just have your name out there. Like it's game changing for their career, so for sure. Love it.
Your first UFC poster was with Amanda Nunes, that main event?
Nope, it was with Cyborg. Co-main event.
Co-main event, and the main event was Max and Frankie?
It was, yes. Yep, good memory.
Look at that.
Yep. Right, and I started my career on the main card, like I was the Coco main event or something like that. I was the 3rd down or 4th one down that night. So
against Megan Anderson.
Yeah.
The old taboo, right? First round.
So good times.
Good times. Oh, old school Felicia Spencer. No one was better. All right, let's get into it. You said it. You kind of gave it away a little bit. I love it. He's only a plus 285. I think actually that's very respectful. I really thought he was going to be a bigger underdog to say, but I think if you look up and look at Lucas's history, he's defeated maybe 3 or 4 UFC type of fighters, guys that have been in the UFC and then got out. Like I said, he's been on the outskirts of the UFC for a good year and a half. Brito is no joke. I think he's like 13-4, 13-3, a legit, really good fighter. And that's why Lucas is the underdog. But yeah, I like it as well. Fusion, Orlando, homegrown kind of a kid. So Lucas is your phenomenal pick.
Yeah, and and just personality, like I've spoken with him. He's a great, seems like a great representative of the sport. Very respectful, and then just solid game, like standing, especially standing. I mean, his body type being lanky, he's strong, so he's got great striking, he's very dynamic striker, and great takedown defense and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I've been high on him for, like you said, I've known about him a little bit more in the last year, and then excited that he's making his debut. It's pretty cool.
It is. Yeah, I've talked to him numerous of times. Lucas Alexander in the UFC. I love it. That's a great pick. Like I said, he's around plus 285, plus 300. And I think that's a very live dog. He's so good standing up. And I think this could be one of those, could be like even the fight of the night. It could be one of those 3-round wars that Brito just does not know what he's getting himself into. And also, it's kind of, you can watch tape on Lucas Alexander. Most of his stuff is on UFC Fight Pass of that nature, but it's him inside the octagon, and you probably know this. He's very different. He's a little awkward. He kind of like punches, and he sometimes doesn't look at you while he's fighting. He's kind of looking away, does a lot of no-look stuff. It's hard to train for someone like that. So I'm hoping he pulls off the upset. Let's get into it. What's your lock? There's a couple guys on there that are pretty big favorites. I think the first fight of the night, Pete Rodriguez, is over a 700 favorite. Do you have anyone else on the card? Is it that? What's your lock of UFC Vegas 62?
Yeah, well, I thought about the main event. I like Grasso.
Okay.
Didn't end up going with that. I also really, I've been really high on Jordan Wright's career since he started in the UFC. He's actually a slight underdog, so I thought about it, and then last minute I scratched it out. And I'm gonna go with Nick Maximov.
Okay.
His last outing, I'm pretty sure didn't go his way, right. And that was, I think, the more like most of the spotlight that he probably ever had, being a protege of the Diaz brothers. But looking at the history or his tapology, like who he's fought, who his opponents fought, how things have gone, I still think that he has a lot of potential. Like I feel like his last outing, he fell a little short, and he probably feels that, and then he'll come out really strong. I would expect that he's going to come out very strong and very aggressive, and I think his path to victory is pretty much always going to be get it to the ground, that kind of thing. But I just don't know. Just one of those times I have like a good feeling about that fighter, and he's not like a huge favorite. I think he's only 135, minus 135.
Yeah, so it's a really close fight. Malhoun, who he's fighting, is a really good fighter. He just fought Brandon Allen maybe 6 months ago. Really close decision. You know how I feel about Brandon Allen. He took the L that night to Allen, but a really close, good fight. That is a really good fight. That's what I mean. There's a lot of underrated fights on that card. There's a flyweight fight, Asker versus Brandon Royval. That's a really good fight, close fight. Cub Swanson in the co-main event. I really thought you were going to go Cub with your underdog pick if you didn't go Lucas. A savvy veteran, been around for so long. WEC days, a lot of love for Cub Swanson. I like that pick with Maximov just coming off of the L. Really respect that pick. Like you said, he's not a big favorite. Much respect there. But you said kind of Grasso. You did mention her. No, and Vivian's really good as well. Just looking at her strength of schedule, I think she hasn't beaten anyone on that top level. Every time she fights a top 5, top 8 girl, she loses, and she's still young and she's getting better. And sometimes that's the process of becoming a champion. But Grasso to me has won a couple of those high level fights. She might be one fight away. I kind of looked at before we started. Everyone in front of Grasso has lost to Valentina Shevchenko. So it's one of those weird things. If she wins, she's a main eventer. If she wins impressively or even gets a finish, they might go, hey, guys, there's a couple big shows in February and March overseas, and the UFC loves to kind of slide sometimes a lesser known challenger against Valentina, like on those cards. If it's going to be Edwards and Usman in March for the title, it's such a great fight. Everyone's getting it. That's where you slide Valentina versus Grasso on it. So I think Grasso, she has a chance of a big time win and gets the title shot. I think it's an opportunity.
Like I said, it's not an obvious title eliminator fight, but it very well could be, especially more so I think for Grasso than for Vivian. If Vivian wins, maybe like her versus Manon, like Firo, that'd be fun. Something like that would be a good one. But I like all that. It's cool. Good idea. Good idea.
Hey, well, I get paid the big bucks. There we go, guys. Felicia Spencer, phenomenal pick. Lucas Alexander from Orlando from Fusion XL Performance. Her lock is all the momentum in the world right now in that Nate Diaz and the Diaz Army. Nick Maximov coming off of his first loss as a professional. Fee has him taking a win home this Saturday night. Fee, I love it. 2 good picks. Next week, UFC 280. Incredible show. Incredible. The main event, co-main event. O'Malley and Peter Yan's only a feature fight. Sean O'Brady and Bilal Muhammad is on the prelims. For goodness sakes, the card is bananas. Literally bananas.
I can't even believe that it's already next week. So the world is just moving too fast for me right now. Like if you would have asked me who was fighting next week, I would have had 0 clue who was fighting next week until I looked it up, and I'd be like, oh, that fight's already happening. Cool.
You think the world is fast. Have 4 kids with dance class and Boy Scouts and T-ball and guitar lessons and school homework. Life fucking flies by.
It's like, okay, this is happening. It's happening.
Awesome. There you go, guys. Felicia Spencer, Dave Van Auken. We're out. We'll see you next week. Excited. Lucas Alexander with the upset pick in Orlando. We are officially out. I'm going to push this button right now.